water, irons in the fire, both irons in the fire.
Well, Miss Brittany, don't be bashful, Brittany. She's a writer, and she submitted a 6-part quickie series to Passionflix.
Oh my God, that's fantastic! Oh, that's fantastic. 6-part. That's even better because then they can like turn it into like a little mini series. That's so great. Oh, that's so great.
Well, it's like I was like, yeah, okay, I'll write, sure. And then I was just like, I only want to write for Passionflix. That's it. That's the only people that I would ever submit anything to. And so then I submitted the quickie mini series and then another quickie to Passionflix. And then Allie was just like, I got it. It's on my list of things to do. So I'm like,
oh, that's so great. I wish you all the luck in the world. And I know what that feels like to put yourself out there. And I know it's scary, but it's important. And it already sounds like they're in your camp because they love what you guys do. So good luck to you. Allie's great. I don't know if you've met any of these people in person, but they're all great. So
not in person.
Also, by popular demand, we got, on one quickie series, we got votes for Celestine and Richard being the main characters.
Oh, great.
And then on another one, we got Jordan and Tyler to be. So popular demand, we want Passionflix people to come back.
I sent them all to them, like the script to them.
Yeah.
And Richard and Celestine was just like, oh my God, like they have to make this. It's so good.
That's so great.
And so to get that immediate feedback from them was just like,
yeah,
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy.
No, listen, I want to remind you that actors will go to great lengths to do great material. So if you stand by it, and if they're telling you that, like, understand that it's hard for an actor to bullshit about something that they're not passionate about. So if you got that from them, then I'm super happy for you. That's
maybe we can try to convince Brittany you can write one so David can be in one.
See, I'm not gonna lie, I already have one that's in my head. That's already.
Oh, great. Well, I'm your guy then. That'd be great.
We'll send you an email as soon as she finishes.
I started writing it like 3 years ago, and I'm just like, yeah, that's David. No, yeah.
Oh, I love that. I really appreciate that.
Okay, so Dirty Sexy Saint.
Yes.
Dirty Sexy Saint. All right, Miss Haley.
Okay, pause. I lost my place. I'm sorry.
So professional.
I know. I'm sorry. Not prepared. What do you think, obviously, about Passionflix fans and Dirty Sexy Saint fans? What is your opinion on us?
Oh, guys, I mean, here's the deal. Like,
honest.
When I got the job, Tosca asked me to read the book, and I started, and I was too intimidated to finish it because I was like, there's no way I can possibly live up to this, right? And that's like similar to, I don't know, Ian McKellen reading Lord of the Rings and being like, well, no one's a wizard, so how can I? You know what I mean? Like, the most perfect ideal is what's in your head, and anything else, you know, it's like, well, I thought his nose would be a little different. But from the day I got hired, everybody was so loving for no reason. Meaning they already were offering their support, which doesn't happen in a lot of, I'd say, mainstream Hollywood movies. So already, like, I got the job 2 weeks before I started to work, like, the first day of shooting. And so, like, by the time I walked into the first scene, I was like, oh, everybody's already, like, on board with this. And then we finished shooting, and the next day, Jordan and I flew to Dallas for...
Hey, that's where I'm at. Woo.
Yeah, so great. And everybody there was like, oh, you're going to be great. And I was like, how do you know? What if I'm not? And they were like, no, we know. And so, like, here's the thing. There's, like, a blind version of, like, oh, well, we don't even care. It's going to be good. But I didn't feel like it was that. It felt like everybody was like, no, I've read the book. I've talked to you, and I see your pictures or whatever these things are. Like, and I trust Tosca, especially because she has a gut instinct about these things. So suddenly I was like, it's the most I've felt collected and belonged to somebody since I was on the soap. And Brittany, I think you know what I mean. Like, when people bring you into that fold, you're in. And if you're not, you're not. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there was such, it's the closest I felt to that since that, which made me already feel like I was kind of at home.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. So I can't say enough good things simply because I know that that's the reason, A, why we have the job, but B, that's the reason why we do the job. Right? And I can't be the first person to tell you that, but that's the way I feel. So
that's what we like about you guys too, because I think we talked about it like again on somewhere else, but we were thankful that Tasha finds these you guys, because y'all aren't just like, oh, I'm an actor, I'm, you know, prestige or whatever. It's like y'all are like, no, like, this is my job, I love doing it, like, please like me, like, you know.
That's
so
it.
That's what we like, is y'all aren't just like, oh yeah, I'm an actor.
Can you imagine though if we were like, I just can't, and I think everybody has worked with some version of that in their life, and it's like hilarious and also like awkward just to be around. Just like, I can't possibly come out of my trailer right now. I'm like, really? Like, because it's just breakfast. Like, we're just gonna have some.
Like, I just have a croissant for you.
Yeah,
like,
it's okay. It's okay.
No, if it's before 7 a.m., absolutely not.
I can't.
Okay. Like, okay, never mind. She said no, not before 7.
Well, what's great is that you guys, you help so many fans through the toughest time. There's been so many followers of ours that have been like, they helped me through this and they helped me through that. And like me personally, I was going through cancer number 3, which was thyroid cancer. And I was laying in a hospital bed, and it was the day Dirty Sexy Saint premiered.
Oh,
I was laying there, and I watched it over and over and over and over. And it's like, it's what got me through. And I honestly don't think that I probably could have started writing if it wasn't for you and Jordan. Because especially, like, I've reached out to Jordan and I've said, you know, I don't think that especially going through something like that, if you don't have your spirits up, you won't be able to make it through. And I said, if it wasn't for you and Jordan, I don't think there's any way I would have been able to make it through that ordeal.
I appreciate hearing that. I think the biggest thing is that everybody has that. Like, I have shows that I watch that have gotten my family through those, maybe not the exact same times, but similarly difficult. And I guess that's kind of what I always think about is everybody has a version of that they need to survive.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're absolutely right. It does. If your spirit isn't up, then you can't possibly do anything else. And I'm glad, A, that you're okay, but B, that what you needed was there for you when you needed it the most. And that's the most important thing, I think. Wow, you were quite a fighter. That's 3 times.
Yeah.
Three different kinds. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, because I was laying in a hospital bed and I look up, I was watching it on my phone and I was looking at it, and then all of a sudden, you know, Samantha goes into a bar. I'm like, okay, this is a good movie. All right. And then all of a sudden Clay turns around. I'm like, it's Ford. Oh my God, Ford. And the nurse is just like,
That's what I was gonna ask.
I've had a couple people walk in on me in certain scenes where they're like, what are you watching? It's a hospital. I'm like, it's really.
I gotta get entertainment somehow, okay?
My headphones in.
If you were watching television and there was, you know, I don't know, I can't imagine. Miss, your heart rate is really high right now.
That's what they said. That's what they said. They're like, what? They're like, I was like, I'm fine. It's probably just a malfunction. It's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Fine.
My boyfriend's walked in on me, like, watching, what was it? I think it was the Gabriel's Inferno, and he just, like, stood there, and I'm like, can you not? Like, I'm trying to enjoy this by myself. Like, I don't want you just being like, go away.
Okay, so that's, okay. Let me ask, does he watch any of these movies with you?
No, but during Gabriel's Inferno, he would just stand there and just, like, watch it, and then he would ask questions. And I'm like, don't ask questions.
Right.
If you want to know, just tell me after, or like
Right.
I'll explain it later, but not
It's a
while I'm
religious
watching the
experience.
premiere. It's like during premiere day, and I was like, shh, I haven't watched anything yet.
Fair enough. Okay, I only asked because in Dallas and in London, you know, it's mostly women that come in, but occasionally I'll see the stray husband, and he's just like supporting his wife, which I could not praise him enough for, because I feel like for some men maybe it could be intimidating, like, well, what are we doing and why is this happening? But also like for him to go, this is important to my wife, so it's important to me, and I'm going to support her in this, is like,
Yeah. No, if I wasn't going with Brittany or like a friend to Passion Con, like I probably would have drug him with me, but he would have had a good time. Like he would have found like whoever actors are going, he would have like targeted y'all and just like had a conversation with you guys all night. So,
probably he and I will probably get along pretty well, actually.
yes, yeah. So yeah, he's pretty good.
That's my husband. He's going with me because he's just like,
yeah.
I'm not going to the events because that's you.
Sure.
But I just want to make sure that you're okay because you're going to another state and you're like health. I want to make sure you're okay. So it's like,
So
you're
great.
sweet. But then at the same time, I'll try and watch like Dirty Sexy Saint for like the bajillionth time, and he'll walk in and he'll just be like, what's her name? What does he do? Why is he doing that? And I'm just like, I throw my book at him. I'm like, read the book.
Just here,
Leave
read
me
this
alone.
first, and then come back.
Read the book.
Yeah, no, my boyfriend's like, which book do you need next? What book number are you on? I'm like, I'm number 3, or I'm on number 4. He's like, okay, I added it to my Amazon account. I'm like, okay,
That's
thanks.
so great. That's great. I'm glad you both have supportive partners that understand that it means a lot.
Yes, our obsession.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. He supports me. He don't understand me, but he supports me. Let's see. So what do you miss about the set, the environment of Dirty Sexy Saint?
You know, this is going to sound weird, but I've done jobs before where you can just feel like the crew is just there to do their job and go home. So when you're doing a scene that's particularly difficult, sometimes a crew they just don't care. Now, I'm not asking for applause. I just, like, sometimes it's...
There it goes, David.
Yeah, right.
Good job.
Here's
Way
what
to
I can
hit.
say. This is what I can say about the crew of Dirty Sexy Saint. That long scene in the bed for like 11 minutes where I just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be in a zone for it, and so everyone like watched. You know what I mean? Not that nobody was like on their phone. Like those that were left the room. And I only say that because people seem to forget sometimes actors can see everything. So like I can tell if you're over it. And then I feel bad that I'm like, oh, should I rush through the scene? Like I want to get you home. Like it's weird, but we do it naturally. Like, oh, so and so's upset, so I should probably finish this up soon. And it's very important to have a crew that works with the actors like we're all doing the same job. I cannot stress that enough, and every actor I think you'll ever talk about will talk about that, because it's not a given, and I genuinely miss this crew, and I can speak a lot about the actors, but I think there's things out there of me talking about the actors as well. Like I loved working with them. That's the soundbite that most people will talk about, but I just have to sing the praises of the crew because I don't think they're talked about enough. And what I think is really great is Passion Flicks now has like their group of people that do the same for each job. Like Michael, who produced Dirty Sexy Saint, is now a part of their team. Lauren is now like a bigger part of their team, whereas before she was like working her way up, and now she's got the job that she went after, and I could not be more proud of her. Like I just think it's neat that when in this company, when someone is shining, that they go, oh, here, do more of the same thing that you do. And like the props master Jesse like has worked on Driven, like, and he was great, and like was my buddy when we were working on this movie. Like Dennis is now like always on the camera. Lawrence is,
I love Dennis.
I mean, they're such great people, and I just don't feel like that happens enough. Like you're always getting on set going, okay, when's the next problem? Like in most jobs, like is someone going to be upset, or is this person going to be an asshole? Or, you know, I shouldn't say always, but it happens a lot. And this job, I was like, where's the problem? There's no problem.
Yeah.
Sorry, I ramble about these things because I get excited about them. I
No,
feel very strongly about that. And
it's time for David to be on another Passion Flicks movie.
I would love that.
Like, hey, Tosca.
Allie.
Allie, we have a competition for you.
I mean, I know they're busy, so, you know, we will see. I have talked to Tosca briefly about it, and I told her, I was like,
good.
you just call me up, and I'm coming.
Like, hey, I'm available. You're welcome. Like,
busy,
I'm here.
so busy in this quarantine, so busy.
Right. Okay. So this one was a good question that we came up with. So what would you say to people who were considering subscribing to Passion Flicks, or to the people that might not understand like what Passion Flicks is? We get this question a lot, but I don't know if you did too. So
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. It starts out with, I know that there are so many subscribing services, and now everybody's like, really, Apple TV? Like, there's another thing. So I understand that you have to be a fan of the genre first.
right.
And I know a lot of people are scared of that for some reason. Like, people are going to get their 50 Shades of Grey and then take off the outer cover so they can read it on the train in New York so that nobody sees what they're reading, which I don't really understand. First of all, I think we're blowing the door off that. Not we necessarily, Passion Flicks only, but we as a culture. Because people, Tosca talks about this a lot, the point of these stories is to empower women as much as, honestly, as much as men have been empowered in almost every movie that's ever been made. So you have stories where you have these women asking for what they want. Consent is a big thing, but also like they're sexy. These movies are in some ways able to go in a different direction that maybe other movies aren't, but also the way they're shot is not the exact same. Like, it's not gratuitous for gratuitous sake. So this is, honestly, if I'm being perfectly honest, this is what I've told people. I'm like, watch the movie. If this is something that you're interested in, great. If it's not, like, there's like the free trial thing, whatever, but you need to understand what these movies are going for in the first place. And I think the mission statement alone is almost a like battle cry for like, we're going to change the scope of how these things are done. If I don't want to speak for Jordan necessarily, but I know that she has worked in environments before that she did not feel comfortable in. And she was nervous about certain aspects of this movie. And I talked to her first about kind of where I was coming from. And then Tosca talked to her. And then all three of us worked on these scenes together. And Jordan, again, I don't want to speak for her, but the gist of it I got from her was that she was like, oh, this is never like this. Oh, this is great. The way this is handled is great. And so I just don't think I don't think there's enough of that in this industry now, but I do think that maybe, you know, what do they say? It takes 2 miles to turn an aircraft carrier. If Tosca is trying to turn this massive trend a different direction, I think this studio is leading the charge on that. So that's all the behind the scenes version. I don't know what there isn't to like. I don't know. Now we have, like, here's the deal. Gabriel's Inferno dropped, and I was like, I gotta see what this is about because I gotta know. Like, this is a massive project. It's massive. And it is, I think, the biggest scale that they've ever done, which is really cool. You're also seeing a company that's gradually doing this, like with each. Yeah. So I just find that fascinating alone. I know I'm biased, but I'm also like a straight white dude. I'm not their demographic, and I see the validity of what they're doing. So for the dudes out there, just like watch them with your partner, or like, I don't know. I don't see how it can't earn you brownie points, the men out there that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well, and that's a really big point that we try to like tell people too, or like I've had a lot of people come up or like DM me on Instagram that follow me, but they're like, what's Passion Flicks? You talk about it all the time. Like, what is it? And so I tell them, I'm like, oh, well, it's a movie company that produces romance novels. And they're like, oh, so like porn. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that's not what this
Specifically,
is.
mommy porn. Mommy
Yeah,
porn
and-
is always the term they use, and it
well, they
angers
hear
us.
romance and they think that, and I'm like, no, romance is like, think of like rom-coms or romance movies. It's like there's a love story, there's a connection, there's pain, there's hurt, there's laughter, there's all this stuff in it. And every Passion Place movie, I've cried because of something that's happened, because I'm just like, oh my God. But, and that's what we try to tell them, is it's like, it's way beyond the intimacy between the two characters. It's like way more. It's more about like their connection
Like,
and how they get through things together, not just.
when I read Dirty Sexy Saint, the thing that surprised me the most was like the camaraderie between the brothers. And I have two brothers, and on the soap I played the eldest of three brothers. So like immediately I was like, I know this guy. I know he's like trying to protect them. I get it. And then the scenes we were doing, I was like, whoa, this feels like none of us are really acting here. Like we're all like, we're trying to figure this shit out, and we're all brothers trying to, okay, we got to keep the stepdad away. Like there was a lot that just happened naturally, and I had to step back after that because we shot the scene where Wyatt comes in and talks to me. We shot that first, and then we shot the scene with the brothers right after that. So that was the first day of shooting, and I'm looking around going, what movie is this? Like,
wait, what is this?
You know what I mean, like there's some, I think, and this is something I think I've heard people say before, but there's a surprising masculinity to a lot of these projects. When I watch Gabriel's Inferno, I think the same thing. Like people assume that they're gonna, I don't know why, that they're gonna dumb down the men to exalt the women, and that is a fake, that is false.
Right.
And I don't know how else to communicate that by saying like, this isn't, I think there's a place for like Hallmark movies, for instance, but I think a lot of times we look at them and we yell at the screen and we say, no, just be with him. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But these movies are not that.
Right.
And I think because people can't put their finger on what this is, then people either make fun of it or they question it. And so until we turn the ship, I think a lot of people are still going to be asking those questions. Totally fine. I got all day to answer them. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like one doesn't have to be diminished for the other to exist. And so everyone should just subscribe, and it's only $6 or whatever it is. Just do it.
But we've tried to explain it to, because I've explained it to a lot of my girlfriends and stuff who, you know, don't really read the books or anything like that. But I've been trying to tell them, like, especially from a Christian point of view, because they're like, oh, well, you watch that stuff, that's ungodly of you. And I'm like, hold on a second. But I'm like, I try to tell them, I'm like, well, most of the time the men are in a dark place. They have these like horrible pasts. It happens with a lot of people, not just men, but it's just like in particular, they have these tough times, and then this special woman comes along and brings them out of that.
That's interesting.
And changes their life. And so that's what these stories are, is you find that one person that changes your entire life.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
this was something like, because I was raised in a conservative Christian background, and a lot of the work that I've done since moving to New York, I mean, I was raised in Alaska, like in what a lot of people could be considered the middle of nowhere. It wasn't. It was a town, but like the work that I've done and the city that I live in is very far from the person that I grew up as. And so it hasn't happened in a while, but I've had a lot of people question that, and I was just like, well, but what, to exactly your point, but my dad said it best. He was like, well, in the story of Jesus, somebody has to play Pontius Pilate, right? So I would rather play a bad guy in a good project if it sends the message across.
Right.
And a big thing that I really advocated for in this particular project was, here is a guy that is not afraid to be articulate about his feelings. And I know that's not like super mind-blowing, but we don't see that a lot.
Right.
And as much as I love the Steve McQueen, Clint Eastwood, John Wayne movies, they don't really talk a lot. They just shoot, or they hit, or they do whatever. I think it's important that not that today's children are going to be watching these movies, but maybe someday, that we sort of redefine what masculinity is, and that we do show that it's okay to be sensitive. And I know I'm getting slightly off topic, but I just wanted to reiterate that I think it's important that I think to like a Christian group, a lot of these stories have a certain connotation to them. And my first thing is, you have to know what it is you're talking about in order to speak about it intelligently. So maybe you should watch the movie to decide, oh, maybe that's not for me. But I just I just disagree. I think people should. Yeah, I can imagine you get some flack for that, but I can also imagine that you're very articulate in explaining why, like you just said. So
yeah,
sorry,
I'm like, here's the way I can tie this in for you to make this make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just do this real quick. Let me just say.
We're
Now,
good at
it's not for you, but you know, at least let me explain, and then we can go from there. So.
I think that's important. I appreciate you.
So, you know, trying our best up here.
Oh, let's see. Okay, so we touched on it a little bit, but what would you want people to know about Jordan and like the whole Passionflix team? What would you want people to know?
Oh wow, yeah, I did touch on it a little bit, but
yeah.
Wow, it's
Jordan is a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart. Have you guys interviewed her?
Love Jordan. Not next month we will be.
Yeah, in a couple of weeks
so
we're
sweet.
talking to her. We're super pumped. She prepped us for you. We were like, we're interviewing David and we're so nervous. She's like, oh, don't be. He talks all the time. He's really nice. And we're like, okay.
Like, don't worry, he's got you. You're fine.
Like, good.
Okay.
I feel like I can't say enough good things about Jordan, because we worked in such close proximity. Like there were days where it was just us two. And I get really nervous because I've also worked jobs where like the leading lady doesn't want to talk. So that's fine.
You're like
awkward.
But it's like,
I
don't know. I've been in a committed relationship for 12 years. Like, I'm not going to hit on you, but I also want to talk to you, ask you how your day was, because I want to like.
You're having a friendship out of it.
Yeah. And with Jordan, it was right away. And we actually found out that we were more similar than we thought. And I think that's so important. A lot of actors you're going to hear say the buzzwords like trust and, oh, the scenes were so organic because we trust each other. It boils down to, can you make something look authentic and have people believe you? And for me, I just need to know a little bit of, I need to be connected to that person in some way. But that person also has to be willing to do it. And to Jordan's credit, especially because I know she's had bad experiences on other sets, she was open with me and allowed that to happen. That's not always a given. And she should be applauded for it, but also it's not easy. Especially because you're like, okay, well, this is not a normal scenario. I think people think just because we're actors that we'll just automatically do whatever we're told.
Right.
But the thing is, like, even though I love what I do so much, it is not normal for me to be on a set with like no clothes on. Like, it's just not.
You're just like, hi, I'm here.
Right. And so the level of professionalism that everybody has, the commitment to doing the project as honestly as possible. There's a lot of men that work on these movies, and nobody's bad mouthing it. Nobody's rude. Nobody's uncomfortable. Nobody, like, people are very above board, and I can't figure out what I did to deserve that. You know what I mean? Like, as an actor, you're always looking for good experiences like that. But it's something I will never forget, because you're never sure how it's going to go. Everybody is like that. And I cannot speak I cannot speak higher of people in those.
Yeah.
Well, we'll always sing their praises, even though we haven't met them like in person yet. We're always just like, Tosca is like the queen of freaking passion. Like,
I can vouch for that too. The other part of her that I really admire is that she knows how to get shit done.
Yeah.
Efficient. She's smart. All of the things that you expect, and then can be so lovely and engaging. Like, to have, this is very unusual, to have founding members on set while you're shooting a movie. She's able to engage with them with respect, because they are the reason why she's there.
Right.
And be like, oh, what do you guys think? And still have a direction that she wants to take the film in at the same time. It could be very easy for her to be like, oh, actually, wait, what did you say? Like, oh, should we do it that way? She knows what she wants, but she's not afraid to ask for the best idea in the room. That's a good director. That's like,
that's
so
awesome.
rare.
I I just became a signature member, which is kind of like a founding member, but they don't do the founding members anymore, so I'm a signature.
Oh, great.
Ollie has kind of reached out to Brittany and I, like, potentially, like, when we do have open sets again, like, we can come out and, like, kind of sit on the set. And I'm like, that'd be so cool.
That's so cool. Oh, I love that. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
The signature thing is new to me, so I'm glad that they did something like that because it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Brittany is not one, but I was like, I'm not going anywhere near a set unless if she's coming with me.
Oh, so great.
We're a package deal.
We're a package dealer. You can't have one or the other. You have to have both of us.
Well, now you're also going to get actors that'd be like, well, where's Haley and Brittany? Like, I don't understand. Like, shouldn't they be here too?
I thought they were part of this thing. Like, wait.
Where are they?
I know. We're excited to, like, eventually, like, go to, because we might be doing, like, hopefully if they do premieres, if they open them back up, we wanted to, like, go to one, and if TikTok is still alive, we wanted to try to, like, help actors do a TikTok with us or, like, something like that.
Definitely. Hopefully, yeah, knock on wood. Hopefully TikTok is still alive.
I know, so we'll see, but we don't know. We don't know.
My background's falling down.
Oh,
No, the man behind the curtain. I'm just kidding. I was making a self-tape for an audition earlier, so I was like, I'll just leave it up for this.
There you go. It
Yeah.
works. I just have a blank wall, so there's that.
It works. It all works.
I just have a bunch of inventory because we're starting an Etsy shop, and that's like all you see. Is
Yeah,
just,
if you want to buy Dirty Sexy Saint stickers from.
Oh, sweet.
yeah, we posted it on our Instagram, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I need that sticker!" And I'm like,
I made one of you and Jordan, and it's like perfect. I'm like,
"It's like spot on. It's awesome."
It is. It's really awesome. So if you want some Dirty Sexy Saint fan-made merch, then hit us up. We can provide that for you.
I'm still waiting for my Kincaid shirt.
I know.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah. I gotta get one. I don't have one.
What?
I know. It's weird.
You wore it on set. How do you not have one?
Well, to be honest, I think they auctioned off or gave away the one I was wearing. So then I was like, oh, I'd really love one. And they were like, we'll get you one. No shade to them because they're busy. But I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I ever actually followed up on that. So that's on me and I can do that. But I kind of miss, like, when I see those shirts, like it brings back great memories for me. So I would love to have one personally.
You're like, Tasha, can you save one for me?
Yeah, if anyone's out there, yeah.
Whoever won that shirt, I'm so jealous of. Like, that's not.
It was on David. Like, they have it. He wore it.
Where
Oh
was
my
I don't know if it smells great, but we'll see.
It'll be all right. They probably have it in one of those, like, when people get those professional, like, pro athlete, like, jerseys.
Yes, like a
and then,
jersey.
like, a frame. They probably did that to your shirt. You're probably like,
Oh, man.
It's like a David shrine. It's just like,
David sign. Candles everywhere.
I hope that's not true and we're not like stalkerish, but totally.
I'd be flattered. I would be flattered by that. I'd be flattered by that. I'll never wear a pro jersey as a pro athlete. I can pretty much guarantee that. Maybe in a movie, but so I would be flattered by that.
There we go. But you may walk in and be like, this is cool, but kind of creepy. Like, wait a minute.
Like, thank you, but let's not.
Let's not do this. Well, we just have 2 more questions for you, so we're almost done. But one of the ones that we have is, I'm sure this is a yes, but just to ask, are you open to doing more Passion Flicks projects? Like if Oscar reaches out for a movie?
Yes, I am.
Especially if I write one. And
especially if Brittany writes a quickie for you to do.
It's not a quickie. It's like a
not?
full-blown. No.
Oh, is it your novel that you're talking about?
I wrote it 3 years ago with David in mind before I even saw Dirty Sexy Saint. It was Ford.
Wow.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Of course.
So it'll be a Brittany book that David can be your lead character in.
I'm here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm here, guys. Hey. I'm here.
Oh, let's see. Okay, so the last one is you've talked a little bit about wanting to go to PassionCon. Are you still open to trying to go to PassionCon?
Oh, 100%. I told Tosca back when it was going to be held in September, I was like, I'm there. There's a chance that I'll have this other job I have to go to. So obviously I have to take the job. But what ended up happening was I was rehearsing a production of Angels in America in New Orleans in March. When this all started happening. So needless to say, like, it's a small cast. So we rehearsed as long as we could, and then they kind of had to send me home. But the plan was to do, it's a big play. It's a 2-part play. So the plan was to do the second part in the fall. And then when I found that out in March, I sent Allie and Tosca a message right away. And I was like, just so you know, this is happening, but it's also contingent on COVID, which I'm assuming PassionCon is too. And I said, I just want you to know I'm already thinking in those terms. Like, if I can be there, I promise you I'll be there. I would love to go. I'm kind of curious when I know it's been moved. Is it still happening?
Yes,
Just
it's
time?
May 2021.
Oh, great. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's
So,
It works out great because if it was going to be in September, I couldn't go because my doctor was like, absolutely no travel whatsoever. You're not going.
Sure.
But then I got the okay like a week after they postponed to May, and I can go now.
That's fantastic. Oh, yeah, that's great. I mean, here's the other thing. This is the caveat to what I just said, too, is like, presumably, hopefully we'll be back moving again in May. But like I said, Tosca knows this. Like, if I can be there, I absolutely will be there. And I think it's important that a lot of as many as can show up. Because again, you guys are the reason why we have these jobs and the reason why these jobs exist in the first place. So I would like to impart that as much as I can in person and not just in a quote.
Yeah. I told Jordan, I was like, I'm not above like messaging yours and David's agents to like not book.
they're unavailable this weekend.
Like, you cannot book them this weekend because I have to hug them, and that's
very sweet. I love that. Like, please do not send him in.
We said that to Celestine too, because she was our second interview. We were like, we will harass your agent and say, she's not available this weekend because she's coming to PassionCon. Mark that on her calendar. Sorry.
Oh wow. Oh wow, that's good. I like that.
So we might harass your agent if we find out who they are. We'll be like,
listen,
look.
They're tough. They're tough cookies, and I love them for it. So I mean, they're gonna be like, yeah, well, David just got this job, and he's.
Well, no, that can't happen. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's
like, no, $1,000,000, I'll let it slide.
Yeah, well, he's like, okay, like, fine. But yeah, no, we're making it to where it's like, no, it's a requirement, it's mandatory, no exceptions, like, you have to show up. But
I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys fighting for us.
Yeah, we'll hunt down agents. We'll do it. We'll send weekly emails, be like, hey, did you put it on the calendar yet? No?
Just making sure.
You need to get on that. But no, it'll just be really fun for us to really get to see you guys and just like talk to you and have conversations with you and just, you know, all this other stuff and like drink and have fun and just do all this
it's important. I mean, like, that's what Comic-Con is. So like it's the equivalent, and like that exists because the industry is so popular, right? There's no reason why you guys can't have that too, and I think it's important. So
yeah,
hold up a sign that says we support PassionCon. I would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're already all of us. We've created a Facebook group for some of us women that have connected through PassionFlix that are going to PassionCon.
Oh,
so we're all, like, keeping in contact with each other. And there's about 10 of us that are going to Disneyland the day before, and
so cool.
Like PassionFlix ears, like Mickey ears, so we can represent PassionFlix at Disneyland.
That's so cool. And it's important for you guys to meet each other too, like not just like that's important as well. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, we've told Allie, we're like, if you hear like from way across the room, if you hear all of a sudden Allie, it's
oh,
that's her nickname. So if you call her, she'll be like, you talk to Haley and Brittany.
I will. I'm gonna do it.
Allie.
That's so
she pops on our lives. We're always like, Allie. She's like, hey, Brittany. We're like, hey.
That's so cute. I like that.
Yeah, it's super fun. We love Allie so much. She's awesome.
They're all I'm shaking my head. She is the best. They're all great.
Yeah. So, but we love it because we wouldn't have had this community of women like come together. So
So
we're
important.
thankful for it.
So important. And weirdly, like, I didn't say this before, I miss them. Like, I don't talk to them often, but like during this whole thing, like whenever something Passionflix related has come up, I'm like, oh yeah, I miss hanging out with you guys. So that's what that has cultivated. So the way you guys feel about it is the same way we feel about it. And that's why it is that important for all of us to have that together. So
Yeah.
knock on wood.
It all works out.
Yeah, let's all get our vaccines when it comes out and get better.
Yeah. So we're hoping that, that we'll all get to see each other and stuff. But we also offered this to Richard and Celestine. I feel like you would probably be open to it too, but in addition to like the interviews with you guys, we also wanted to like, I don't know, in a few months do kind of like a check-in with y'all, just be like, hey, like, have you gotten any jobs yet? Like, how's it going? Like, just checking in with y'all. So if you're open to it.
I am open to that. That's really sweet. That's really great.
Because y'all need interaction too.
Yeah,
so,
I appreciate that.
So.
It's really great.
Yeah. I can let you know how close I am to finishing my.
Yes.
It's really hard to go from book to script and script to book. It's really hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
That's what I'm having trouble with.
To you.
But you can do it though, Brittany. You can do it.
I know. It's because everybody wants to read it on their Kindle, and so I'm having to go from script form to what I submitted it to Passionflix as and going to a book. And I don't write descriptively. I write technically.
Sure.
And so I'm like,
I get that.
Like, how do I describe this?
I'm like, wait, how does Richard look?
Wait.
It's a whole separate skill. I understand. It can be very frustrating, but it can also be very rewarding. So keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
But yeah, thank you, David, so much for taking time to talk to us. We really appreciate you and everything that you do. And we hope that we can, catch up with you at some point to see how you're doing with all this craziness. And then B, hopefully, prayfully, we can meet you in person at PassionCon.
I would love that. I will give you both big hugs especially because hopefully by that time, this pandemic will be at least controlled and at bay.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I cry, because I'll probably cry.
Guys, I get it too. I've met some people on shows that I love, and I had an emotional reaction. And so if I can bring that to somebody else, I know exactly what that feels like, and I am honored by that. So thank you.
It'll be me. Just
lots of tears, but tears of joy.
Tears of joy. That's right.
I'll wear full plastic if I have to. I mean,
we'll wear a bubble suit. It'll be fun. Yeah,
an inflatable T-Rex. I'll be a T-Rex. It's fine.
Right?
I love that.
But yeah, thank you, David, so much. Really appreciate you. Good luck in all of your future endeavors that you're doing. Prayers that you get more work and that you finish some writing and stuff like that.
So. More than you know. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And say hi to your beautiful wife for us.
Yeah, say hi to your wife.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, guys.
That was David.
He's so nice.
He's so freaking nice and so delicious.
His wife is a lucky lady.
He's very lucky.
Very lucky lady. But no, he's like, I don't know why we were nervous. Why were we nervous?
Why were we nervous? Why were we having an anxiety attack? Like,
I don't
10
know.
minutes before. It's fine.
But it's fine because he's like the nicest person. Actually, not the nicest, because we've met Celestine and Richard, and they're super nice. Everyone's just nice.
Everybody's just nice.
Everybody's just nice, okay?
But if you haven't watched Dirty Sexy Saint yet, let this be your little
warning, reminder.
Do it.
Yes.
Go watch Dirty Sexy Saint.
So, you know.
And he will be back.
Yeah. So, but thank you for watching. We interviewed David from Dirty Sexy Saint. Please watch it. Subscribe to Passionflix and watch Dirty Sexy Saint. Also, subscribe to our channel for new videos, news, announcements, interviews, all that jazz.
Make sure you hit that like button.
Yes, like button, comment, all of it.
Comment, everything.
And then keep watch for the Passionista Sisters Etsy shop going live this week.
Gifts with a passion.
Gifts with a passion. Passion. Passion.
Yeah, because we can't put flick because that is
That's
stealing.
theirs. Just passion.
Passion.
Gifts with a passion. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us on another interview. We love you. Appreciate you. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.